Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Now, here is some crazy news coming off of the Grammys last night. Now, there's already headlines out there talking about Offset. Now, Offset had some words to Jay Prince because of an interview that Jay Prince did with Mob Ties and Jay Prince and the Family, where he talked about Takeoff's relationship with Offset. And Offset clapped back. I did a whole video about it. Check it out, right? Now there's news being reported that Offset and Quavo got into it, like a back and forth. This is crazy. So let's check this out, man. So they're saying that Offset and actually got into a brawl backstage at the Grammys, which that's wild. I know tempers are up because they just tragically lost a member of their family. Probably people are blaming each other. There was already a little bit of friction beforehand because a lot of people say that Quavo and Offset are the two hotheads out of the group. You know what I mean? And you can even see in the situation that took place in Houston, it seemed like Quavo was arguing with whoever before the shooting took place, right? So it's not outside of believing that they possibly could have gotten into a brawl. But at the backstage of the Grammys, whatever they were fighting over had to be serious. Maybe it has to do with what happened with Jay Prince and Mob Ties. But what I want to do is take a look at this news story that talks about what allegedly took place. Okay, so you see there in the headline of the story, it says Migos rappers Quavo and Offset brawl backstage at Grammy Awards as drama ignites over Takeoff tribute months after the fatal shooting. Now, for those of you who didn't tune into the Grammys, and I stopped watching the Grammys and award shows really myself. You know, I don't watch them as much as I used to. It just doesn't have the same pull and the same flair for me. So I missed on all this. I always catch the updates and the highlights and who won what award later, right? And I guess Quavo was actually doing a tribute to the fallen artists and fallen rappers and everybody in the industry, right? And lately it's been a long list of names. Let's keep it real, man. A lot of artists have been losing their life lately, right? Now the story starts off by saying this. It says Migos rappers Quavo and Offset got into a physical altercation backstage at the 65th annual Grammy Awards after drama brewed over an in memoriam performance. Offset and Quavo got into it, man. I don't know if he wanted to be included or what it was about, but this doesn't make the situation any good, man. This is making a bad situation worse, which, man, rappers tend to like to do, it seems, man. And my condolences are to both of them, man, because I know a death in the family brings out heavy emotions for people, you know? I'm a knock on wood because I don't wish that on anybody, you know, especially in the manner that it took place. Now, the story continues by saying this. It says, Quavo was set to take the stage with a live rendition of Without You when the tension reached a boiling point. Sources said moments before it was about to start, they got into a heated brawl because Quavo stopped Offset from joining him on stage and refused to let him take part in the tribute performance, despite the Grammys extending an invitation. Now, I don't know why Quavo would do that. I know they were having their issues. The group had pretty much broken up. That's why they dropped the Unk and Few project. But in a moment like that, where you could bring things together and, you know, be mature about the situation and everybody send their condolences out, you know, in their own special way and letting Offset take a part in that probably could have mended that situation. Probably could have built that bridge to bring them all back together as a family and a unit. But it looks like, man, they obviously still are on opposite ends of things, and Quavo refused to let Offset join him on stage. Sounds a little petty, but I don't know the back dealings or what's going on between them personally. You know, it's just like I said, when there's a death in the family, it brings on heavy emotions. So people are at ends, I'm sure. Now, the story also goes on to say this. It says, insiders said that Offset was not the aggressor. So they're saying that Offset was not the aggressor, that Quavo was the aggressor. I guess he was aggressively telling them like, yo, bro, you are not getting on this stage with me to do this performance. You're not going to be able to get on the stage with me to do this memorial for Takeoff. And that would probably make anybody upset. Because, like, if the Grammys told me I could do this, who are you to tell me I can't? You know what I mean? And for what reason? And now you're getting aggressive with it. That could lead to a brawl. Now, it also says it's been just a few months since Takeoff's sudden and tragic death, and it appears there's still animosity between the chart-topping artists following the fatal shooting of their cousin and groupmate. TMZ was first to report news of Quavo and Offset's fight. Takeoff was shot dead at 810 Billiards and Bowling in Houston, Texas on November 1st. Yeah, and that was a sad day for hip hop, to be honest, man. It came out of nowhere. Like, I know anybody could get shot or killed at any time, but some of the people who you see is quiet, you know, some of the people you see and think, you know, they're just all around good guys. You hate to see something terrible like that happen to them, and you hate to see something like this happen to the Migos, man. Think about where they were as a group, man. They used to be so in unison, they dressed alike. They used to be so in unison, all their raps sounded almost the same, right? But now it's at a point where they lost one of the valuable members and a family member, and now that they're backstage fighting at the Grammys. It's like one of those tragic stories that you see in music from not even old documentaries, old movies about like the old soul groups. Like something tragic happens, people split her apart, there's fighting, all sorts of stuff, man. And that's just comes with the price of fame, I think. This is crazy, and it's almost disappointing, to be real with you, to see this. Because when it comes to the Migos, I think the biggest part of the Migos that brought people to like them is how together they were. You know, remember the Joe Budden situation? They stood up in unison. They always kind of looked like they kind of dressed like each other. You know, they always seemed like a tight unit. And now these cats is backstage fighting at the Grammys, man. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation. Do you think the fact that they had to face the fact that Takeoff is no longer here, it just brought back bad memories and bad emotions between them, you know, the worst emotions, and it just boiled over backstage at the Grammys? Or do you feel like maybe there's just a line in the sand that's drawn there that these guys will never be the same group or together ever again? Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.